Hello, dear children. Children, this story is based on a German fairy tale collected by the Grimm brothers in the year 1812. This story is about a miller's daughter and an imp. And children, the story is Rumpelstiltskin. This is a story of long ago. In a small village lived a poor miller along with his daughter. Children, do you know who is a miller? Yes, a miller is a person who operates a mill or a machine to grind grain into flour. And children, this miller's daughter was very beautiful. Miller was always worried about his poverty. He would always say, "Only if I had more money, more wealth, my life would have been good and happy." One day the king came to his village. The miller began thinking, "I must do something to impress the king, and maybe in return the king might reward me." And he began thinking, and soon he got an idea. He went and bowed down before the king. "Your Majesty, I have a daughter who is equally beautiful and talented. I would be happy if you would come to our cottage." The king asked, "What talent?" The miller replied, "Your Majesty, my beautiful daughter can spin gold out of straw." Hearing this, the king was surprised. He exclaimed, "What? Spin gold out of straw? This is a very remarkable talent. Okay, come tomorrow to my palace along with your beautiful daughter." The miller became happy and bowed down again. "Yes, yes, your majesty. Thank you very much." The miller was happy. Why? He was thinking that the king would surely reward his daughter for her talent. The next day, the miller and his daughter were in the king's palace. While the miller was waiting for the reward from the king said, "So, this is your daughter who can spin gold out of straw?" "Yes, yes, your majesty," said the miller excitedly. The greedy king said, "I will believe you only after she spins gold in the palace." He took her into a room where there was a pile of straw and a spinning wheel. The king said to the girl, "Now spin gold out of the straw and prove your talent. Mind you, if you fail to do so by tomorrow morning, you will be punished and put in prison." So saying, the king closed the door and went away. Now the girl was alone in the room. She was scared. "Oh, I don't know how to spin gold out of straw. Don't know why father lied to the king. Now what shall I do? The king will surely punish me and put me in prison because I do not know how to spin gold out of straw." She began crying. "Oh." Suddenly she stopped crying and looked down with fear. Why? Because an imp came flying in through the window. Children, do you know who is an imp? Imp is a character in folklore of fairy tales. Small, funny, but evil creature with magical powers, like fairies, elves, dwarfs, goblins. The girl was surprised and lay still gazing at the imp. The imp said, "What's the matter? Why are you crying? Maybe I can help you." The girl gathered courage and told, "The king has ordered me to spin the straw into gold by morning, otherwise, I will be put in prison. And I don't know how to do this." The imp said, I can help you. But tell me, what will you give me in return? The girl said, Okay, if you do this, I will give you my necklace. Fine, the imp agreed. He said, Now close your eyes. And children, what happened? Within seconds, with his magical powers, he converted the straw into gold. When the girl opened her eyes, she was amazed. She couldn't believe her eyes. There was gold instead of the straw. She thanked the imp and gave him her necklace. The imp laughed and flew out of the window singing merrily. The next morning, the king came and he exclaimed, Wow, you really turned the straw into gold. Very talented. But only so little gold. I want more. And the greedy king ordered his servant to bring 4 piles of straw. He turned towards the girl and said, Now spin all these piles into gold by morning. And mind you, if not, then you will be put in prison. Ha ha, so much gold. He was becoming very happy. The king went away, closing the door. The girl sat down on her knees, looking worried, her hand on her head. Oh, what is this? 4 piles of straw. What will I do? I don't know how to spin them. Yesterday the imp helped me. Will he come again to help me? She shouted, Hey, kindful, helpful imp, please come and help me, help me. And children, what happened? The imp came in flying through the window. He said, Oh, did you call me today? Again? He looked at the piles of straw and said, Oh, so looking sad and worried. I'm sure the king has asked you to spin them into gold. Yes, yes, kind imp, please help me, the girl pleaded. Okay, said the imp. But what will you give me in return today? The girl said, I will give you my ring if you help me today. The imp smiled. Fine. Now close your eyes and wait. And within a second, the imp turned all the piles of straw into gold by using his magical powers. Ah, now open your eyes and see, he said. The girl opened her eyes and jumped with joy. Oh, thank you very much, she said. And she gave the ring to the imp. The imp flew out of the window singing merrily. The next morning, the king came and he was happy to see the gold. And he said to his servant, Put all the gold in my treasury. The girl pleaded, Your Majesty, can I go home now? Home? The greedy king said, No, no, my treasury is not yet full. I want more gold. And what did he do? He ordered his servant to get 8 piles of straw and said to the girl, Spin all these piles of straw into gold by morning. And if you do so, I will marry you and make you my queen. Otherwise, you will be in prison. The king left. The girl did not know what to do. She knelt down again, closed her eyes, and said, Hey, kind imp, please come and help me once more. And when she opened her eyes, the imp was standing in front of her. He looked at the piles of straw. So, 8 piles of straw today. The girl sighed sadly. Yes, if these piles are turned into gold, the king will marry me. Otherwise, he will put me in prison. Please help me, kind imp. The imp said, Fine, I'll help you once again. But what shall you give me in return? The girl looked around and sighed. I have nothing to give you in return today. The imp said, but I want something in return. Okay, so when you become the queen, you shall give me your first child. That I want in return. The girl was reluctant, but she had no other choice as the king would put her in prison if the piles of straw were not turned to gold. She said, okay, fine, I'll give you my first child in return. The imp told the girl to close her eyes, and when she opened the eyes, all the piles of straws were turned into gold. She thanked the imp, and the imp left singing merrily. The next morning, the king was very happy. He said, now my treasury is full. As per my promise, I will marry you and make you my queen. And now the girl was the queen. She was no more poor. She had all the luxuries and comfort. After a few years, a son was born. The queen had forgotten all about the imp. But one night, the imp appeared before her. Pointing to her son, he said, now give me what you promised me. The queen was shocked, terrified. No, no, please leave my son. I'll give you all the riches you want. But the imp said, no, no, I want nothing but the boy. The queen began crying, pleading. Finally, the imp took pity on her. Okay, I give you 3 days' time. During these 3 days, if you are not able to tell my name, you must give me the child. So saying, the imp flew out of the window. The whole night the queen lay awake, restless, thinking about different names. And the next night, when the imp came, she called out the names. But the imp said, no, no, none of these are my names. Now the queen was very worried. The next day, the queen sent messengers throughout the kingdom to know names she had never heard of. She sent out for learned men and asked them to tell her some names. But the next night, the imp said, no, none of these are my names. The queen was restless, worried. What would she do? She went out of her palace through the wood and then was thinking about names, and in that she was climbing a small hill. Suddenly she stopped. She heard someone singing. Tonight, happiest will I be, for the queen's child will be with me. For the queen doesn't know that my name is Rumpelstiltskin, Rumpelstiltskin, Rumpelstiltskin. The queen heard this and said, oh, this is the imp's voice. She listened carefully and came back to her palace. That night, when the imp came, she said, is your name Casper, Freddy, Maggie, Wendy, or Winky? No, said the imp. He tried to pick up the boy when the queen shouted, your name is Rumpelstiltskin, Rumpelstiltskin. The imp stopped and said, yes, yes, but how did you know? Clever and smart queen, that's my name. Yes, that's my name. Now this child is yours forever. I bless you and your child and will always be happy hereafter. And the imp flew out of the window. So, children, how did you like this fairy tale, Rumpelstiltskin? Children, you can hear more such interesting stories on my YouTube channel. Subscribe the channel and do click on the bell icon so that you never miss a new story from me. If you like the story, click on the like button and share the story with your friends by clicking on the share icon. Children, you can hear my stories by following my Facebook page, and WhatsApp channel. And now the story Rumpelstiltskin. And we'll meet you again next week with another story. Till then, goodbye. Take care.